The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Vexitar's 6 eyes widened in disbelief. The holographic display showed the impossible. Their most feared apex predator, Kethvar the Shadowbane, lay motionless in the containment field of a primitive human vessel. "You're telling me," Vexitar's voice cracked through his translator, "that a single human defeated Kethvar, the same creature that decimated 3 of our elite squadrons?" Captain Sarah Chen stood casually before the assembled alien dignitaries, her hands clasped behind her back. Despite being surrounded by beings that could bench press a small shuttle, she appeared utterly relaxed. "Well, defeated is a strong word. I'd say we had a friendly disagreement about territorial boundaries." The Zephyrian representative, a crystalline being that chimed when agitated, resonated with disbelief. "Impossible. Kethvar has hunted across 17 star systems. Its exoskeleton can deflect plasma cannons. Its reflexes are faster than photon bursts. How did your species—" He paused, consulting his notes. "A species that still uses chemical propulsion and metal alloys manage such a feat?" Sarah shrugged. "Honestly, I was just trying to get some exercise. Been cooped up in that tin can for 3 months straight. When your apex predator showed up, I figured it might be fun to go for a jog." The assembled council exchanged glances that somehow conveyed universal skepticism across dozens of species. Admiral Theknos, a mantis-like being with razor-sharp appendages, leaned forward. "You went for a jog? Against Kethvar?" "Well, more like interval training, really." Sarah activated her personal display, showing biometric data. "Started with a light warm-up, dodging its acid spit while it chased me through that asteroid field. Got my heart rate up to about 140. Then we moved into the cardio phase. The display showed a 3-hour pursuit through increasingly dangerous terrain, plasma storms, gravitational anomalies, and debris fields that would challenge even their most advanced navigators. The real workout began when I realized this thing was actually pretty fast," Sarah continued, seemingly oblivious to the growing horror on her audience's faces. "So I kicked it up a notch, started using those gas giant rings as obstacles, parkour style. The beast kept up pretty well, actually, had to give it credit." Counselor Mirith, whose species was known for their tactical brilliance, interrupted. "But how did you survive its neural toxin? 1 drop can paralyze a battlecruiser's worth of soldiers." Sarah rolled up her sleeve, revealing several healing puncture wounds. "Oh, that tingly stuff? Yeah, that was weird. Made me feel a bit dizzy for the first hour or so. I actually thought I was getting dehydrated." She paused thoughtfully. Probably should have brought more water bottles. The Arcturian delegate, a being of pure energy, flickered with confusion. "The toxin made you dizzy? It's designed to shut down neural pathways in any carbon-based life form." "Huh. That explains why I felt so sleepy around hour 2. Sarah nodded as if this was a perfectly reasonable response. "Good thing I had that protein bar. Really perked me up." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien languages as representatives tried to process this information. Vexitar raised a clawed appendage for silence. "Continue your report, human." "Right, so anyway, by hour 3 I was hitting my stride. Really found my rhythm. Started incorporating some combat techniques. Basic stuff we learn in high school wrestling. The creature seemed to enjoy the challenge, actually started purring." "Purring?" Admiral Theknos' mandibles clicked nervously. "Kethvar only purrs when it's preparing to feed on its prey's terror." Sarah blinked. "Oh, well, that's awkward. I thought it was like a cat thing. Actually reminded me of my old tomcat Whiskers." She smiled fondly. "Poor thing seemed tired after our workout, so I figured I'd let it rest in the cargo bay. Fed it some of our emergency rations. It really liked the beef jerky." The silence that followed was deafening. Counselor Mirith spoke first, his voice barely a whisper. "You befriended the galaxy's most feared predator during what you considered a warm-up exercise." "Warm-up might be generous," Sarah admitted. "I mean, I didn't even break a proper sweat until the last hour. Though I did work up an appetite. You folks wouldn't happen to know where I could grab a decent burger around here, would you?" Vextar's 6 eyes stared at her for a long moment. Human Chen, your species was invited to this council because we believed you might have potential as allies. We sent Kethavar as a test, to see if you could survive long enough to be worth our time. Sarah nodded politely. Well, that's nice. Though if that was supposed to be a test, you might want to recalibrate your standards a bit. The ambassador's next words came out strangled. That wasn't the test. That was supposed to eliminate you before you became a threat to galactic stability. For the first time since entering the chamber, Sarah's expression shifted. A slow smile spread across her face. The kind of smile that made apex predators across the galaxy suddenly reconsider their career choices. Oh, she said softly. Well, in that case. She cracked her knuckles. What did you have in mind for the actual test? Because I'm properly warmed up now. The Galactic Council would later record this as the day they realized that perhaps, in their vast understanding of the universe, they had made one small miscalculation about Earth's inhabitants. Kethavar, meanwhile, had made himself quite comfortable in the human cargo bay, and was currently engaged in what could only be described as the galaxy's most dangerous game of fetch.